Welcome everyone to another episode of Independent Artists Unite Song Series. I'm super psyched to have DELPREzTON here talking about his new single, Viktor Banal.
Yeah, hi Scott.
Dude,
Hi Scott. How are you?
I'm great, but I have to say, I've been listening to your EP all day, and I am just like astounded that this is your debut EP because it's such a like cool, cohesive kind of presentation of graphics and artwork and videos and like really cool song titles. And I mean, I want to get into all that and also Dead Parrot Sketch, the story behind that. But
Yeah,
and the sound itself, you know what I mean? It's like this is a very distinct sound that you had. Like you mentioned on Spotify that there's elements of post-punk and dark wave and goth and grunge, the one that we don't want to admit, but
wow.
it's like
How
so
come?
cool.
No, we must admit
Well,
that.
I don't
Let's
know.
assume
I don't know.
this.
You know what? I'm from the '90s, so I guess it's like once grunge was passed, we're like, oh no, we don't
Mhm.
talk about that.
Yeah, yeah, I understand.
But I mean, I love it. I love it, and I mean, principally the guitar. I assume we're talking about like with grunge because you have such great guitar on there too. But it's just like the amalgam of these influences is a really distinct sound, and it just is like a bit shocking to me that this is your debut EP because it's just such it's like such a statement. I think it's such a cohesive statement. So congrats.
Hey, thanks a lot. And thanks a lot for having me on your show. That's an honor, Scott. So thanks
Yeah.
a lot. And yeah, it is my debut. So like you said, that's that parrot sketch, and we can come back on the title afterwards if you want. But it is, and it took me maybe 4 or 5 months here and there completing that. But I've been playing music for a long time now. I've been playing guitar since age 12, maybe. But job, family, studies,
Mm.
school, whatever happens in life, I just lost that completely over the course of the last 10 or 15 years. So yeah, now it was the time basically with the technology. We I couldn't have it was not able for me to do it like 15, 20 years ago
Mm.
for a lot of people as well. So
Yeah.
technology is really allowing me to do all that between two meetings, and after my 9 to 5. So it helps a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it is true. This like the advent of digital studios is like giving a whole new kind of generation really of artists that can do top, you know, top of the line, recordings, from home. So it's like it's super exciting actually. Oh, we should say too, I'm in Copenhagen, Denmark. We're zipping
Yeah.
all the way over to Montreal, Canada today. And you say,
Yes.
my English is not so good. It sounds very good to me, but yeah. So
Okay. Thanks a lot.
this is actually, I put this thing on Instagram, because it was so cool that I've talked to people from all these different countries and states around the U.S. And you sent me a message. Let me know if you want to add Canada,
Yeah, sure. Didn't
which
have
was
Canada
awesome.
in
So
there.
now I got one more Canada.
One more. Yeah. You come from the US, right? From New
Yeah,
York.
yeah, I come
Yeah.
from New
Yeah.
York. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But so were you in bands all those years, or were you really just like kind
Ah,
of
no,
like
it was
playing guitar in your bedroom?
it was much more like that, and we used to jam with some friends over the years, and especially we did some weddings as well. So for my friend's wedding, so
Mm,
nothing professional, but we had a blast jamming in the basements and
mm,
doing all of that. But again, they have their own personal life, the kids, the jobs, and it seems that it's not a priority for anyone in my
mm,
circle.
mm.
So I'm kind of alone in that endeavor.
Yeah.
So that's why I decided basically, DELPREzTON is a one-man band. It's me and it's only me um, playing with my guitar, my bass, and the synths and all of that. But I was tired of waiting on my friends to jam, to play music, and yeah, so I decided just to do it by myself. I had a blast, honestly. Like I said, it took me maybe 4 or 5 months here and there. And that's interesting because you mentioned the whole visual thing, the whole not packaging. It was not voluntary, I think, but it just describes me, my tastes,
Yeah. It's
the
like the art direction, kind of a creative direction. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, the whole, and you know that for sure, but the whole creative process from A to Z, thinking about the music, the songs, the melody, uh, finding a cool riff, and now you're like, wow, that's exactly what I wanted
Mm.
it to sound, and the mix, the producing, the mastering,
Hmm.
the whole social media things. It's I'm having such a fun time
And
right
you did
now.
all that yourself, right? Right to the mastering. Wow.
Yeah,
It really sounds
yeah,
good.
but
It
but
really
it's
sounds
tough,
good.
man.
Yeah.
It's all right, but the one comment I received a lot of comments on this, and that's perfect. Constructive feedback, we might call it that way. The fact that the vocals are not, are blurred in the mix. It's not super. How can I say that? It's not. We don't hear it as we don't hear it super well. So I think it was totally voluntary because I don't assume I don't. I'm not a singer,
Mm.
Scott. I don't like to sing. I just hate it, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Doing back
I just took
vocals,
that as a conscious creative decision, you know. I mean, because it's a little bit like the shoegazer bands, you know, they do
yeah,
that too, where the vocals are very but muddied and a lot of echo and effects and
yeah,
stuff. So I was kind of that's what I was hearing.
it is, but I think it suits me well. I think it's
Mm.
I would not be able to I think it's a creative and conscious things, but it arranges me. I mean, I'm super okay with that because I would not like the vocals to be more upfront in the mix because I don't believe in myself as a singer, and
Mm.
that's the part where I'm not enjoying myself. I was listening to a couple of your songs, Scott, recently, and I was
Mm.
like astonished by the quality. Your vocals are awesome, but I'm not able to do it. So yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I'm principally a vocalist, so I'm always leading with the vocal, but you're leading with different things, and that's also totally cool, you know. I mean,
yeah. I tried.
I love how the guitar is really high in the mix, and you can really feel that crunchy guitar when it comes in.
Yeah,
But at the same time, other things aren't getting lost. Like I feel like it's a really good drum sound, you know, especially on Viktor Banal, you know, that snare sound just cuts right through. It's a really great sound. And yet, you know, and then when the keyboards come in and stuff like that, that you also really can hear that very clearly. So I think it's a great mix and a great mastering job, man. It really sounds good to me.
hey, thanks,
Yeah.
thanks. And you mentioned one grunge song, which is at the end of the EP. It's called "L'Esprit du Malin." It's in French. Well,
Yeah.
the title is in French and English. I don't know what would that be, like spirit of the evil, something like that, I guess.
Okay.
And I really got influenced there by Alice in Chains.
Hmm.
The vocal harmonies, Lane Staley and Jerry Cantrell, those,
Yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
are
So good.
incredible
So
guys.
good.
They sing so well together. So
Yeah.
I had some. It was interesting for me to try to put these different layers.
Yeah.
So that is the kind of vocals I like to do because it's fun to do.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what about like I'm just curious about like these combination of sounds because like I said it's such a distinct sound to me and I think it's really original. Was it out of kind of like necessity like oh I'll play guitar let me throw in some keyboards and this or were you thinking I really want to combine such and such elements you know kind of like this is the palette that I'm going to paint from kind of thing.
That's a good question. I think we are all influenced consciously or unconsciously by all the music that we listen to. I don't have,
Mm,
I'm not 20 years old. I'm 41 right now. So it's like I have 35 years of music behind me
mm,
as a music fan.
yeah.
I started listening, my first music band that I really listened to, man, with a statement here. It's New Kids on the Block. I think it was like 8 or 9. It was 89 or 1990, something like that. And and the year after it was Megadeth and Slayer. So it was a complete
That is an
radical
interesting
change.
combination.
And it's pretty much the way I listen to, not the way I listen to, but I have different tastes, and I guess it unconsciously it brought me where I am. But maybe to answer more precisely your question, one song that I really really love, and I'm not getting tired of listening to it. It's No Good by Depeche Mode. And
Oh, yeah.
this song with the synths,
Mm,
the drums, which are not complicated, it's a Depeche Mode song,
mm,
and the whole cinematographic vibe of this
mm,
song, I think it influenced me a lot. And the
mm,
fact that I'm playing guitar and
mm,
I like, the grunge music type of things, hard rock of the 90s. I guess it kind of it's a mix of those two worlds.
mm.
So that's pretty much the sound that I like and that I will likely continue to produce in the future.
Yeah.
This whole dark and cinematic vibe added with guitar, and this is not easy to do. The how to make a good guitar sounding in
Mm,
such a song. There are plenty of bands that are really succeeding at that, but it's still tough for me. But that's the sound I like pretty much.
yeah.
And
Things can get out of control real fast.
oh yeah, totally. Yeah, you're right. Out of control. Yeah, yeah. And I was listening recently to two bands. Modern bands, if I can call them that
Mm,
way. It's Working Men's Club and East. Both of them are from Great Britain, I think. They
okay.
are mixing some dance stuff, house
Mm,
stuff as well, and the whole post punk things, like sounding a little bit like Ian Curtis. And
mm,
so
mm.
so yeah, the guitar and the vibe like that, I enjoyed that so much.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's really great. Um, well, also too, it's kind of like, you seem like you must have approached this release in a really organized way, because I'm also super impressed that you have like, well, over 2,000 you know listeners per month on Spotify. This is like, you have I mean, you have tunes that are 3,000, over 1,000 plays and stuff like that. Like personally, I like got to that point like after like 5 years of trying to learn and having like younger people teach me how I can promote myself on Spotify. But this seems like it must have been a very organized approach that you made here, because it seems, or did it is it just or was it just, or did it just happen? I'm curious.
No, 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 no. I don't. I'm not lucky enough for that. I don't. In 2023, I don't believe in organic growth. I don't think it is
Right.
real. I don't think there is such a thing
Mm,
unless you're. I don't know how to. Maybe
mm.
if I would do it 24/7, I don't know. But of
Yeah.
course, I
You
had
had
the
like a
help.
strategy kind of.
Well, it was not a strategy. I use some promoters, online promoters, so
Yeah,
they
yeah.
can pitch the songs to different playlists. I
Hmm.
think it's always useful. And there's there's so much music produced right now.
Mm.
It's tough to get noticed. So I think you might want to get help from time to time. Of course, you can spend, I guess, wow, thousands of you can spend millions of dollars in
Oh yeah.
promoting. I
Yeah.
don't think it's something that we want to do, or me, I don't want to do it. But I have a small budget for that, so it gets played in different playlists, and it increased the number of listeners of
Mm.
streaming. But again, it's not that it's organic, but it's not. I'm not. I didn't spend $1 million
Yeah. Yeah.
for sure,
Yeah.
but I got some help, and honestly, it hurts me a little bit. I don't know if hurts is a good word, but I don't like that. You know,
Mm.
you have access to your own monthly listeners. I don't
Mm.
know where I'm at right now, but the fact that sometimes you see it decrease,
Oh, dive
I'm
down.
like
Yeah.
having a panic attack. I'm like, oh,
Mm.
shit. Oh
Yeah.
no, no,
Yeah.
it gets below the 1,000 mark, and
Mm.
I
Mm.
don't like that. Okay, so no one is listening to me right now. What can I do? I don't think I'm the only one in that situation, having
No.
this sense of let's do something because I'm not popular, but let's keep my music, up front, and I must increase that number. So, but
Mm.
it's
Mm.
bad. It's so bad. I don't
Mm.
want to. I don't want my music to be. I don't want to have that kind of mindset as an artist.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Only
Yeah. How
giving
popular am I?
importance.
How popular am But
Yeah, it's
there is a wave, like I've noticed with the thing of like, if you put it, you put it out into the future, right? And you like a future release date, and you get on release radar, right?
yeah,
And there's like a wave to that of like 2 or 3 weeks, right? And it seems like at 4 weeks is to me when I see it takes a dive. So I've learned from my this guy that's helping me with mine music now, mixing it and really co-producing it, but he calls himself a mixer, is James K. Ultra from Pain in the Ass. And
yeah,
he really taught me about these waves that happen with release radar and this kind of 4 to 6 week time interval. So that's when I slid into oh, okay, that makes sense that people are like putting out singles every 4 weeks, or every
yes,
six
exactly.
weeks. So to
And
try to
that's weird.
keep riding that wave, and that really that's been pretty effective. But I'm there now. Like I have a release coming out Friday, and so now I'm down to like 600 listeners a month, where I was topping out at like 2,700 or something for when release radar was really kicking on the last single, and that's like, but I would have never have known that if someone didn't like teach that to me. So it's like
I'm sure it's
it's a
different.
whole new world, from like
Oh,
back
totally.
when we were listening to grunge music.
Yeah, back in the days, yeah, sure. No, no, it's a whole world, a whole different world for sure. And I don't know if it's healthy, because I guess we get pressured to do some songs from time to time, and you cannot have one year when you haven't released any song.
Mm.
When you can. I think
Well,
we
yeah.
we should just listen to ourselves, and
Mm.
have the pace that we want to have. But yeah, so that's a learning curve for me as well, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and so tell me about the name DELPREzTON, and then we'll get into Dead Parrot Scat because I'm real curious
Del
where
Preston.
these things came
Yeah,
from.
sure. Del Preston. Okay, so back again in the 90s, you probably watched Wayne's World and
Oh yeah.
the movies. And Del Preston is the Rudy, the guy in the
Oh
second movie,
shit.
which helped Wayne and Garth organize the Wayne Stock show. He comes from England, and he was there in Woodstock '69, and he has all these stories,
DELPREzTON.
incredible Brown Eminem stories with Ozzy Osbourne, something like that. So this guy,
Van
when I
Halen. That
first
was Van
watched the
Halen. Yeah.
movie, yeah, 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 exactly. And when I when I watched the movie, I was fascinated by that guy. I found him so funny.
Okay.
So his name is Del Preston, and that's it, Scott. It's
I
just
love
simple
it.
as
I
that.
love
But
it.
when I looked in Apple Music or Spotify,
Mhm.
there's someone, or there's a band called Del Preston. I was like, fuck, man, no,
Okay.
that's not possible. So I just added this. dizzy, and that's it. So
Yeah,
it's a tribute basically to Del Preston. I don't
back to
remember the
boys,
actual song.
back to the boys, or no, what was the first boy band? Was it?
New Kids on the
Oh,
Block.
New Kids. Are they with a Z?
I,
New Kids on the Block, or was it an
I
S?
think you're right, man. I think yeah, full circle.
Or
Yeah.
am I thinking Boys to Men?
I mean, our boys in the hood, but that I don't know. Yeah. Anyway,
Anyway, that was a '90s thing, throwing the Z in there, you know.
yeah, yeah. Exactly, exactly, man. Exactly. And
And then what about
yeah,
Dead Parrot Sketch?
this one as well is a tribute to some funny guys. Uh, you might know Monty Pythons,
Mm-mm.
which are
Oh, okay.
a
Yeah.
group from Great Britain that they were there in the 70s or maybe the 80s, but
Okay. Yeah,
it's an
that's
old
a famous sketch. That's right. Now I
it is a
remember. Yeah,
famous sketch, the Dead Parrot sketch, which is so incredible. So you guys at home, just have a look at this sketch on
yeah,
YouTube. It's
yeah. It's on YouTube.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
that's incredible. So yeah, it's called the Dead Parrot sketch, which but it is what it is. So the guy comes into the pet shop and buy a parrot, uh, and uh, and he comes a few minutes later. He comes back and he's like, "Well, my parrot is dead. So how come you sold me a dead parrot?" And there's this whole discussion about, well, no, this parrot is not dead. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's dead. Look at that. So it's completely insane. So and I heard somewhere that it's the dead parrot discussion or dead parrot sketch is used to talk about politicians. You know, politicians
Ah,
when they are just screaming at each other, and
mm,
it's just total nonsense,
mm.
and it gives just nothing because it's nothing basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's a kind of a dead parrot type of situation. So I found it pretty funny,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so again, it's a tribute to this whole old stuff. Yeah.
And now, what about Victor Banal, the latest single? Where does that come
Victor
from? I mean,
Banal is much more serious. And by the way, I've worked with Aurora Boylan, which is a great filmmaker in the U.S. She took this incredible footage to do the video clip
oh,
for
cool.
this song.
Yeah, it's very
But
cool.
so it's very Mexican film noir, dark movie about
Mm,
some murders, and I must say that she stuck pretty much to the whole narrative, the whole synopsis of the song, because it's it's not funny as Del Preston or that sketch
mm,
Barrett, sorry. Um, it's unfortunately based on a true story. There was this guy, his name was Viktor, and actually he worked at the same company as I work right now. So he's kind of a colleague of mine. I haven't met him, but he works in the same company. And the story is that he flew to Mexico with his girlfriend because she wanted to meet with she wanted her parents to meet him for
mm,
the first time. So that's the first encounter. And the guy was nervous, but they were like 25 years old, this beautiful couple. And I don't know how exactly, but one night there was this altercation between the both of them. There was this disagreement, if I can call it. And Victor decided to take the car and go to a bar nearby this same town. And a few hours later, he sent a message a vocal message to his girlfriend. It's like, "Hey, listen, darling, I'm not feeling super well because there are these three individuals in the corner, and they like keep pushing me and keep bullying me, and I'm not. It's a super weird vibe. So
mm.
if you don't hear me by the next hour, just call the cops, please, because that's weird." So end of the story, the three guys stole him, beat him, and took his wallet, money, passport, whatever. The fact is, he just got out of the bar. He took his car to get back home, and they followed him and they just shot him, just completely. So it was brutal and cold murder. So Victor, the little 25 years old, super sweet, just got assassinated in some street in Mexico. I don't remember
Mm.
the name of the town. So the following day, the girlfriend just got the vocal message and she was shocked. And the police at the same time came at the house and said, well, listen, there was something that happened during last night, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, that's really not a funny story. And it is a true story, but like
Wow.
other unfortunate and super sad stories that can happen from time to time. So this song is pretty, again, a tribute to him, the loss of a promising future.
Mm. Yeah.
They had the whole life in front of them, and it just ended so brutally. So that's the story of this song.
Yeah.
And the clip, like I said, is pretty in line with this story as well. If you have a look at the clip, it's the video is really what it's a footage of a of an assassination in Mexico, so it cannot be more closer
Yeah.
to the reality. Yeah, so that's Victor
Wow.
Banal. And banal, I don't know if it's a word in English, banal, but banal in French is, it words nothing. It's
Kind
just,
of
you
boring.
don't
Yeah.
care about that. It's banal. So,
Yeah. 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 It is a word in English too. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's heavy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry for that this morning.
No, no, no. That's okay. That's okay. I mean, it's interesting. Like, even a tragic story like that, it will, it can have the effect of like, wow, let me enjoy my life today,
Oh, totally.
while I have it. So I mean, it's horrible that these things happen, but if there can be anything positive out of it or an opportunity that comes out of these things, it's to you know seize the day and make the most of it because we never
Yeah,
know.
absolutely.
We never know.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the kind of thing, as a songwriter, that it's not interesting is not a good word, but crafting some songs and writing some songs, it help us and, as individuals to just, um, how can I say that? To express ourselves.
Mm.
You know, I'm a super introverted person in general. So not in general, but I'm an introverted person. I don't talk that much, so it helps me as a songwriter as well to just express myself and just get this frustration and sad things just
Yeah, it
explode.
reminds me of I might be stretching it here, but it reminds me of of a Canadian songwriter that would write a song like that we lost earlier in the year.
The Canadian songwriter,
Yeah, yeah.
would that be Gord Downey of the Tragically Hip? But it
Oh
was
no,
not this.
well, this is a old school, more of a folk guy from the '70s,
Oh yeah, it's
Gordon Lightfoot. Yeah,
Gordon Lightfoot. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
He would bust out those songs like that of like about a ship and the ship that went down or some incident that da da da. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
it's interesting. Maybe there's a little Canadian tradition in that.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe, maybe because it's gray outside. It's like 1 Celsius degree right now, so I guess it's dark. Well, in Copenhagen as well, I think you have time that might
Yeah, actually it got
be.
cold fast this year. We're like snowy. It's snow on the ground and below
Okay.
zero. Yeah, yeah. So we're cold here. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh shoot. What was I gonna say? Oh, darn, I forgot. I think it was
Ah,
something about Gordon Lightfoot. I can't remember. Yeah.
yeah, you'll have to reinvite me
Now,
sometime to the shows. That's it.
you know what? This doesn't happen so often, but I have a slight brain injury. So
Oh,
sometimes I lose my way or I lose a word or something like that. Yeah, because I mean, speaking about um, embracing the day, I had a near fatal heart attack like 4.5 years ago.
oh,
So my
really?
my heart stopped beating for over 40 minutes, and somehow I came back, but with you know, a little missing. So
Wow, you're so fortunate just to have this
oh,
back. I
I
guess it
mean,
would have been.
it's like nothing short of a miracle. I know the
Wow.
doctors were like shocked. They were like, I don't know why this guy doesn't have worse brain damage, but I think I had really good people doing CPR on me, and they kept trying for a
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
long time. I had the CPR done on me for like 35 minutes, and they were trying really hard, and so all that effort really helped get a little something up to my brain.
Oh, wow.
So
I
yeah, yeah.
I feel bad because I could not have helped you at all. CPR is just a complete mystery, but
Well, I tell
yeah,
you, whether if you see someone drop and their heart's not beating, it's to the beat of "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees. Da,
yeah,
da,
you're right.
da,
Yeah, I heard
da,
that.
stay alive. And you cannot do it too hard. That's the thing. Go ahead, break someone's ribs, get those compressions going, even if you don't know CPR, to the
As
speed of
long
staying
as it,
alive, and right in the center of the chest, and put some
okay.
muscle and weight into it. Yeah,
So staying alive in a loop as long
yeah,
as it needs to be. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
I'll try to remember it. Shit, as we get older, it fortunately can happen.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But man, thank you so much. I'm really what when do I mean, do you have more songs like in the bank? Are you planning a next release? Or are you just focusing on this one right now?
Well, I'm still focusing on this, but mm, like we talk about that, the whole
Yeah.
pace is quite incredible. So I have something I will release probably super early next year.
Oh,
I
nice.
want to do some sort of a New Year's song
Mm.
each New Year.
Oh, nice.
So cover. So I'll have a cover
Oh,
early
cool.
January, and I'd like to
Yeah.
do some covers each January afterwards. So yeah, and I'll probably
That's
have
a great
more to
idea.
this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well,
So, and you, Scott, you have your own next single that is coming up in a
this will
week
come
or
out
two.
Friday. Yeah, Friday.
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, well, count me as a fan, man. I'm really I
Nice.
really love what you're doing, and please keep going. And I look forward to the cover song in January.
Oh, yeah, you'll be a
That's cool.
blast.
That's a great idea. Yeah. But
You
thank you
will.
so much. Thank you so much for being here, man.
Hey, thanks a lot for you. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. So, yeah, keep on rocking, Scott.
Yeah,
So,
I'll
have a
talk
nice
to
day.
you. We'll talk to you online.
Yes. Ciao. Bye.
Oops,
Yo.
I hit the wrong button. Okay, I'll cut.